Welcome to a quick tutorial of Sierra Bullet's new ballistics calculation software, Infinity 7. Infinity 7 was designed to operate on computers running Windows XP or higher. The interface has been completely redesigned from the ground up to improve the user's experience while maintaining the high precision calculations of the previous versions. Start Infinity by double-clicking the icon. After the initial splash screen, you will see the introduction page of Infinity 7. Several useful icons are at the top of the screen. The Home button gives you a quick way to return to the introduction page. The Settings button takes you to the Settings page where you can configure the basic features of the program, including encryption, language, and the basic units the program uses. The Help button displays information about the page you are currently using. Let's first take a quick look at the Settings page for an important new feature: User Data Encryption. By enabling this feature in Infinity 7, all user-specific data, which we'll discuss later, will be encrypted with a user-supplied password. You can use this feature to protect your firearms information that is stored on the disk. However, there is one important point that you need to understand. If you forget your password, it cannot be recovered and your data will be lost. To encrypt your user data, check the Encrypt User Data with a Password and click on the Accept button. This will display a dialog where you enter the password. Enter the same password in both boxes. And click Accept. Your data is now encrypted and will require the password when you start the program in the future. If you want to remove the password, you can uncheck the box and click Accept and enter your password. And your user data will be unencrypted. Let's return to the introduction page by clicking the Home button. Infinity 7 has navigation buttons to the side of the screen. These allow you to move to different areas of the application. Click on the right button for a brief look at a new feature, the Firearms Database. Infinity 7 now includes a way to record your firearms to keep track of any data that you would like. It can also print the ATF P3312.8 personal firearms record, which may be used in the event your firearms are stolen. An important point to make is that all the information on this page is optional except for the configuration name and the sight height, which is used for ballistics calculation. A new firearm configuration may be added by clicking the Add button, then entering the data. Click the Accept button when you are done entering the information and the data will be saved. An existing configuration may be edited by clicking the Pencil button, then changing the data, and then clicking the Accept button. A firearm configuration may be deleted from the list by selecting it, then clicking on the Delete button. Confirm that you would like to delete it, and the configuration is gone. Once you have a firearms configuration selected, the next page is where all the fun really starts. Click on the right button to get to the bullet selection page. Each firearm configuration is associated with a set of bullets. The bullet selection page is where you provide the data of the bullets that will be used for ballistics calculations. Start by selecting a manufacturer of bullets you wish to use. Infinity 7 has nearly every bullet manufacturer's data available. It includes data for thousands of bullets. I'm going to select my favorite manufacturer, Sierra. Next, select the caliber. Note that even if you specify a caliber on the firearms page, you can select any caliber here for the purposes of comparison. Again, I'm going to select my favorite caliber, .308. Next, select the specific bullet that you want to add and of course my favorite bullet, the 168 grain hollow point boat tail Match King. Click the Add button to add it to the list. You can add several bullets, and they can be the same or different bullets. Each bullet gets a color, which is used to display the bullet in the charts. So for fun, I'll select a different bullet in a different caliber, just for comparison. At this point, you can change the color of the bullet to anything you would like. Below the color is the basic data on the bullet provided by the manufacturer, including the weight, caliber, and the default muzzle velocity. You can change the data for the muzzle velocity, elevation angle, maximum range, and zero range from this page. Also, each bullet has variation settings that allow you to experiment and see the changes on the range card and charts without altering the normal settings. If you scroll down, you can see the ballistics coefficient data being used for the calculations. The button at the bottom of the page resets the data to the default values from the database. The next page is where you enter additional environmental data, including the elevation, temperature, pressure, humidity, and profiled winds. Infinity 7 allows you to enter any number of wind components with this new interface. To add a new wind, click the Add button and set the data. I'm not going to go into the details in this demo, but I will add one variation wind so that we can see how the variations are treated on the chart. Now click on the right button to get to the most important page of Infinity 7, the range card. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time describing the data on this page because I assume if you're using Infinity, you already know how to use the data. Instead, I'm going to talk about the configuration of the range card so you can see how flexible it has become. The first button on the right side of the page is used to configure the header and operations. The second button configures the data portion of the range card. Let's take a look at how to configure the headers first by clicking the Header Configuration button. Immediately, you can see that there are two columns of information. The first column contains the available data that may be included in a header. The second column contains the data that will appear in the header. To add a new header, simply select it from the first column and click the arrow pointing towards the active headers. The order of the active items may be changed by selecting an item and clicking on the up or down arrows. You can remove data by selecting it in the active list and clicking on the arrow pointing to the available headers. Items that have the word variation use the variation bullet for calculations. At the bottom of the screen, you can see several operations buttons which cause Infinity to perform specific calculations, such as calculating the maximum range, the zero range, the point-blank range given zero, the maximum point-blank range, and vertical fire. The Reset button is used to reset the headers to the default state. As you can see, before I did this demo, I was playing around with point-blank range. Once you're done reconfiguring the header, simply click the Accept Changes button. Now you can see the updated data. The second button brings up a similar dialog, but this time configuring the columns of the range card. There are over 100 columns available to help you generate the report with exactly the data you are looking for. Looking at the available columns, you can see that every calculation column has a normal version, a variation version, and a delta version, represented by a triangle symbol. The normal version is calculated with the base bullet data. The variation version is calculated with the variation bullet data, and the delta is the difference between the two. At the top of the screen, you can configure the range step. At the bottom of the screen, you will see several presets, including normal English, normal metric, pistol silhouette, rifle silhouette, Tactical MOA, Tactical Mil, Up-Down English, and Up-Down Hill Metric. Once you have completed making your changes, click on the Accept button to return to the range card and see the updated data. At this point, you can copy the data to the clipboard by pressing the Copy button, or you can copy a portion of the data like you would in any other application by highlighting the data and pressing Ctrl-C for copy. Then Ctrl-V in your other application to paste the data in. Lastly, you can print the data by pressing the Print button. The next page is the Charts page, where you'll find graphical charts of the calculated data. This page includes charts for bullet trajectory, the energy, the bullet speed, and the wind drift. You can zoom in an area by clicking and dragging, and you can zoom back out by double-clicking. Alternatively, you can zoom back out by pressing the Zoom Out button. The next page contains the twist rate calculator and the recoil calculator, followed by the Custom Bullets editor, where you can create custom bullets or modify copies of bullets from the database. Note, this feature was not shipped with all versions of the program, but it will be available from Sierra for download soon for all customers. The last page is only available with Infinity Suite version of the program. It is the Sierra Reloading Manual, which contains reloading data for a huge number of bullets. The first couple of pages contain basic cartridge information and remarks. The following pages include specific load information. If you click on a velocity or load number, Infinity will add a bullet with that load to your selected bullet list automatically. And we'll jump real quickly back to our page over here. And you will see that a Sierra Bullet 308 got added with the specific velocity. And the charts are updated. This concludes this demonstration of the new Sierra Infinity 7. I hope you have enjoyed the demonstration.